Welcome to the Inside Blitz.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the SCB Steelers Inside Blitz for March 4th, 2026. Hope everybody's doing great. We'd love it if you took a moment to subscribe to the podcast and, heck, even become a member if you get a chance. And either way, doesn't take you much. Just give it a click, and yeah, you probably got to tolerate some emails from our YouTube account, but you'll survive, right? We thank you. Anyway, a couple of items to talk about on this short form podcast presented by Deck Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. And big thanks to Variety Sports Network, of course, for the platform. And big thanks, obviously, to Frank Walker Law, too, for providing our studio space here as well. Some thoughts as we are now 1 week from the start of the new league year coming up on March 11th. Of course, legal tampering begins on Monday, the 9th. And look, the bottom line is the tampering has already begun. Any of us would be foolish to think that it hasn't. It's just the way of the world, especially the way of the NFL. That doesn't necessarily mean that that agents and teams are violating the rules or anything like that. But you know that there are phone calls, conversations, third-party conversations, all that kind of stuff is going on. It's just how it works. It has been really since the advent of free agency and the growth of the NFL and everything else that's surrounding it. It's just what happens. Okay. It's just what happens. So not surprised at all by this. And that'll kick off, like I said, a week from today. We'll know some things. Teams are already starting to release players, and we've already seen teams franchise and even in one case transition tag somebody. So the NFL is a 365-day event, and it continues to prove that. Okay, so just a few things, and don't forget, we will have the regular show coming up tomorrow night, Thursday night at 10 p.m. On our YouTube station, and great stuff as we get prepared for the year. We'll really get into some heavy free agency stuff. Of course, the guys will want to make a few comments about some of the stuff I'm about to make comments on too, related to Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, and a few other things. We'll get their thoughts tomorrow night as well, and hopefully Scarps is well enough and not still like I don't know, at a karaoke machine somewhere in Pittsburgh. In any case, let me get to my topics at hand today. First of all, Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee Show today, and look, here's my takeaway from it. He's gonna let this thing string out as long as he can. It's what he does. It just is. He did not acknowledge any sort of deadline. Omar Khan, Mike McCarthy, he said he talked to both of those guys, but at the end of the day, Rodgers was pretty clear, in my opinion, that there wasn't a deadline given. Bullshit. Okay, just put an end to it now. Okay, this whole thing is ridiculous. The fact that we are waiting on a 42, soon to be 43-year-old quarterback, it's nonsense to me. Absolute nonsense to me. It takes my frustration level north of where it normally is with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And look, if you're going to tell me that 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers is our best chance to win games, then we've got much bigger problems than that. Okay, we do. But that was my takeaway from watching him today. I'm glad that he's happy. I'm glad that he's enjoying his time with his wife and all that kind of stuff. He went into some other things. He was talking about how often he's stalked by people. Okay. All right. Be that as it may, it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to move on from this. They gave it a shot. Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers had their little 1 year together. We all saw the flirtations in previous years where they gave each other the big eyes and everything else, but that's over. It's done. It's time to move on. Okay. Now, speaking of moving on, Um, there is very little in the way of free agent quarterback talent this year. We know this. There's very little in the way of draft quarterback talent. Once you get past Fernando Mendoza, good luck. Okay. Obviously, the guy positioned as the number 2 quarterback is Ty Simpson. At least seems to be. I mean, there were some really good performances by guys at the combine, but I don't think anybody did anything to unseat him from that position. And no, that is not an endorsement of the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Ty Simpson at all, because I don't want that to happen. In fact, that takes me to my point. Go talk to Kyler Murray, who I'm not a big fan of, but if you can get him on a vet minimum, you're going to have him, Mason Rudolph, Will Howard. Okay. Just play out the string. See what happens. If you go 5-12, if you go 6-11, you're in much better position with a much better quarterback draft to find somebody that could be your starter for the future. That I'm okay with that. This idea that we have to be competitive every year. Look where that's gotten us the last decade. Being competitive has gotten the Pittsburgh Steelers one playoff exit after the other without a playoff victory. At some point, you've got to make some changes to get off of that path, okay? And who the hell knows? Maybe you strike lightning in a bottle for 5 or 6 weeks in a row. You get a nice winning streak going. The defense comes up with some plays. Other guys make plays, and shit. Who knows? Maybe you are 9-8 or 10-7 again. With real mediocre quarterback play. But go get Kyler Murray. Go get one of these guys that's not going to cost you much. Build the rest of the team up, and then next year get your quarterback, and you've got everything else for the most part in place. I don't look at it as though, Kyler Murray's going to take us to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about get us a guy that has some ability, and most importantly, will play for the vet minimum. Now, do I think the Steelers are going to bring him in? No, I do not. He does not strike me as a Mike McCarthy type quarterback. I think McCarthy likes more of the classic drop back types. Both Rodgers in his prime and Dak Prescott have scrambling ability, but I would not classify them as running or overly athletic quarterbacks the way you would look at Kyler Murray in that regard. So I don't think he's going to be the guy, but I'm okay with it. I'm done with the Rodgers stuff, as I've reiterated numerous times on this particular program, and will many, many times before. But that'd be the route I would just go, just sitting here today on March 4th. Okay. Also, a lot of good combine performances from guys that the Steelers will be interested in: cornerbacks, wide receivers, defensive linemen, linebackers. There was a lot. This is the fastest draft we've ever seen. It's not the most talented, but it's really fast. And hey, I'm okay with that. But there are some really interesting guys. If we're looking at safety position, Thieneman, the kid out of Oregon, looks pretty solid. I think obviously Caleb Downs is going to be gone, even with his recently reported health injuries as far as his leg, his knee. He's still going to go, but I don't see the Steelers doing a whole lot in terms of quarterback stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll swing for the fences again and take Ty Simpson at 21, and hope that they strike gold. And hell, for all I know, maybe they will. But a lot of guys to like, and that process really gets going now. You start getting the pro days here, along with the personal visits and stuff. So it's a great time of year if you like the draft stuff. Okay. One other item I found interesting today, and I want to make sure I credit Jarrett Bailey at Behind the Steel Curtain. He wrote this, and I saw it mentioned in the interview, but the suggestion that Pat McAfee made, that the Steelers reached out to him about Mike McCarthy. I don't. Number one, as far as I know, Pat McAfee never played for Mike McCarthy. That would be, in my Uh, I guess that would mean that you're looking for information from McAfee, like, what was he like as a coach type thing? Uh, but if he didn't play for him, that's not gonna matter. So, as it turns out, McCarthy's been on his show several times, and he made the comment, it sounded like the Steelers were curious as to, like, well, did he prepare for the appearances? What was he like on the show? I I'm just left I'm dumbfounded by this. Why would the Steelers give a shit with whether Mike McCarthy's prepared to go on the Pat McAfee show? Does this make sense to anybody? I don't get it. Um, I'm almost wondering if it wasn't more along the lines of, "Oh, hey, Pat, how are you?" While somebody was bumped into him at a local place or something. "Oh, Pat, I saw you at Mike McCarthy on. What's he like?" Maybe that's what McAfee was talking about. I don't know, but I don't understand that logic, to be very, very honest with you, but stranger things, right? Stranger things. I don't know. Anyway, I'll stop my rant. I'm at 11 minutes plus already, and I've thoroughly bored most of you, but that's okay. That's not true. I am very exciting, and all of you know it. In any case, make sure you join the regular podcast coming up tomorrow night. That's Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. We'll stream live on Twitter as well, or X as it's called. And thanks to everybody. And again, please take a minute, hit the subscribe button. Those numbers actually do mean a lot to us. They allow us to do some things monetarily, especially that we can keep doing in new little ways, bringing you stuff. We got some new stuff that we're going to be working on here in the coming weeks, and I'm excited about, and that we couldn't do if we didn't have subscribers. So anyway, please consider that. But thanks to Deck Roofing, thanks to Frank Walker Law, thanks to the guys at Variety Sports Network, of course. And we will see you coming up tomorrow night for the regular podcast. And as always, go Steelers.
We've had some drinks.